Hey guys, so General Grievous was just revealed yesterday, and he looks absolutely gorgeous. The game itself has always been gorgeous, but the problem is it's still boring. I can't play it for more than like 20 minutes without wanting to play a different game because I just get so bored by this game. Like, I've been a huge Battlefront fan since the beginning. Battlefront 1 and 2 back in like 2003 and 5 or whenever those came out, right? And then Battlefront 3 was supposed to happen, and the hype, skyrocketed again back in like 2010 when Free Radical was making Battlefront 3, the actual Battlefront 3 game. And then it got canceled, and Disney merge happened, and then the EA took over and made this game called Battlefront. That's not really Battlefront because it's nothing like the originals. Now I had a video called Cynicism in Star Wars about the cynicism about it, but the thing is, this is an actual problem that's been bugging me about the game because it's just so bland. I'm gonna hop right to it and just tell you what I think is the problem with this game, and what I found fun about the originals that this game doesn't have, because it's not living up to its expectation. It's not living up to its title, because it's like, why would you call it Battlefront and then have a different game? Because it is a third-person shooter, yes. It does have vehicles, yes, but it still doesn't have the elements of Battlefront 2 or 1 even, And I looked up, the roadmap for Battlefront's Clone Wars, and it's so spread out. You got stuff like Geonosis coming out, but you only got 3 vehicles coming out. Like, you have what, the ATTE, the STAP, and the what's it called, basically the speeders, the speeder bikes, and the thing is, like, 3 vehicles, So let me hop right to what my first bullet point here is the mechanics of the game. The mechanics of the game are fairly annoying. The game is so bullet spongy to the point where you have to put in like 5 to 8 shots to kill somebody. Maybe I might be a little over exaggerated because the rate of fire of the weapons are pretty slow, but the thing is, like, when the game first came out, I was using the heavy, and wanted to use the rotary cannon so much, and that, like, the super rotary cannon was so much fun because you can mow down a hallway of people, but then it only lasts like 2 seconds now because they nerfed the crap out of it, and the game is just way too slow. Like, I need it to be faster. And I mean, that's more of a personal preference of the mechanics. I mean, there are still other elements of the game that they could have added that would actually make the game better for me. One of them is that the game is way too cinematic. The maps are very linear, and every assault mode is literally, it's just Rush from Battlefield. Like, it's literally like a linear map from starting off in one end of the map and then ending up at the very end of the map in a straight line. If you want to use like the droid tanks or the chicken walkers, like, you have this linear map where you're just a target the whole time, and it's really frustrating to play a map that's just purely linear. Like, you want an open map, you want an open battlefield. You don't want these limitations to take place on these maps, because you had so much freedom in the original games. And then the vehicles, like, that are just, like, if you play on Kashyyyk, you have like the clone Juggernaut tank all busted up, just as scenery. You got the droid tanks all busted up once again as scenery. You don't even have the droid gunship in this game, which is fairly disappointing. So and another thing that bugs me about, let me give you an example of what's going to be on Geonosis, because this is what it's come down to, because they announced 3 vehicles for this map. Obviously, there's going to be the droid. They're probably going to just rehash droid vehicles that are already in the game to be in Geonosis, but the battle for Geonosis is supposed to have battle droids, super battle droids, droidekas, spider droids, dwarf spider droids, the STAPs, which are going to be in the game as well. Hellfire droids is a big one. The ones with the giant wheels. They all they do is just rush and fire a barrage of missiles to destroy anything in its path, really. The Geonosins are supposed to be, were playable in the original game, and also the Geonosis starfighters, which is one of the ships that, like, Count Dooku, like, hops in and flies off. And then the clones have, the clone troopers, clone commandos, ATTE gunships, BARC speeders, which are going to be in the game as well. I don't even think the speeders were in the Battle of Geonosis, at least the first one. and like those giant artillery cannons that were taking out the capital ships. And one of the biggest things that I enjoyed about the original Geonosis was the fact that you can, or the original Battlefront in general, is running up to a vehicle that's just parked there, jumping inside, manually like taking off and flying around and killing whatever, you know, I need to kill and destroy whatever objective I need to destroy. And one of the biggest ones were the gunships in the original game, because the original Geonosis and Battlefront 2's Geonosis back in 2005 was completely different. Like you had the Geonosis gunship, or the clone gunship in Geonosis, was omnidirectional. You're able to fly in any direction. You had bots obviously running up to the vehicle, hopping inside of it, and helping you out. You know, and that was one of the fun of it, is having control over this vehicle, because in the new Battlefront it's on rails, and a lot of these vehicles are on rails. Like you have the gunship on rails, you have the V-wing on rails, and then all you're doing is hanging out on the side cannon, just shooting things that are super far away, and you can barely see them, and it's just this boring experience. I'm sorry, EA, like this is how I feel. And the everything being on rails is annoying. Even the ATTE, I'm expecting it to be on rails and only be some power up that you just, you know, use the cannons for, because you're trying to get from one point of the map to the other. You know, in the original Geonosis, you still had the command centers, you had those giant artillery cannons, and you were able to use everything in this game, no matter what. And this point system is ludicrous. Like, I want to, in Battlefield, even in Battlefield 3 and 4, like, you can run up to the vehicles and just jump inside of them. Like, why is that a feature that, you know, isn't in this game? Why does it have to be this point system? Like, there is absolutely no purpose for this. And the map design, it also just, it caters to the mode rush, you know, and then it's trying to be the cinematic experience. I'm expecting to see Hellfire droids on Geonosis. I'm expecting to see spider droids on Geonosis, but just as a part of the map, as scenery. You know, the more cinematic you make a game, it seems like the more unimmersed from the game that you actually are. You don't want to be immersed. A lot of people don't like Call of Duty World War II is because I think it was too cinematic. You know, you're watching this cutscene and then doing like the Normandy scene for like, you know, a few minutes, and then just getting to the point and not having this experience that the original Call of Duty World War II games back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s had. You know, World at War, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3. You know, a lot of people enjoyed those games, but World War II people didn't like, because I think this is me speculating that it's just way too cinematic. And Battlefront is a gorgeous game. It's absolutely beautiful, but I think it's a little too pretty, to the point where they put so much into art and not enough into gameplay. And I think if Geonosis had any elements that the original Geonosis had, where, you know, you can, like I said, run up to a gunship, run up to a ATTE and just jump inside of it, and then if somebody's already occupying the vehicle, jump inside of it and use its gunner turrets, or just hop on the ride. You know, it'd be a lot more fun. I'd have a lot more game time with it, you know. And Grievous is going to be amazing, but everyone's going to be jumping on him like wildfire once he comes out. And the lack of characters in Geonosis as well, because, you know, that was one of the first the first battle of the Clone Wars, and also with the Jedi. You know, you got Mace Windu was there, Ki-Adi Mundi was there, Kit Fisto was there. You had General Grievous was, I don't even think he was there, but obviously Count Dooku was there, and there's so much missing from this game. Like, I hated buying it in 2015 with only like 4 maps and then spending another $50 on the season pass. Like, I think I have a right to be annoyed, because I spent $110 on Battlefront 1 and then bought this new. I didn't even buy this new one. It was actually a gift, because I was refusing to buy it because of how much I got gypped on the 2015 version. But it's sad that, like, you got a game from 2005 that everyone absolutely loves, and it cost me $50 with so much content, and then you create this game that it sparked so much controversy. Now, even the loot box system didn't even bother me, like, because the gameplay wasn't even worth my time. Like, it's just not a fun game at all. Like, I mean, it obviously was fun for a little bit because I was immersed in, like, you know, the Theed in the beta or any. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. I mean, I have a Commander Wolf and Shock Trooper cosplay because of it, you know, and 501st, blah blah blah. But that's above the point. It's just that I'm seeing, you know, Geonosis as an upcoming map, and I'm seeing only 3 vehicles releasing, and I'm seeing the same crap that's been happening for the last 4 years. I mean, it's not. I'm not excited anymore. Especially from seeing the roadmap and seeing the lack of content. I mean, the 501st skins for the Clone Troopers are coming out in January, and all these skins and all this content is just so spread out, and there's absolutely no content, like, at all. Games like Fortnite release skins like on every like other day. They release content like so frequently, and then you got this game that has absolutely, like, just bring back LucasArts and just publish Star Wars games to different companies, rather than having this giant, you know, Electronic Arts be in charge of all its projects and just make these half-made games that are different from the originals and call it the original, because it's not the original. The original Battlefront 3 was this amazing idea of having a immersive game that you can do virtually anything in, but have like a larger, like they made the game, because in the original Battlefront 2 you had ground battles, you had space battles. You can start off in a capital ship, jump in a vehicle, fly into another capital ship, and just wreck everything, you know, or you know, just keep flying around outside and doing whatever you want, you know, flying Imperial shuttles, flying gunships in space, flying bombers, and help, you know, various vehicles that all had different abilities. But and the fact that, like, the Battlefront 3 that was originally supposed to happen was that you had 3 tiers of combat happening at the exact same time, because you had ground battles, sky battles, space battles, all happening at the same time. Like, you could literally jump into a Jedi Starfighter on the ground and fly through a space battle, fly up through a sky battle into a space battle, all in one match. Like, their idea for the game was definitely something that piqued my interest, because it was still holding up to Pandemic's Battlefront 2, and Free Radical was doing the exact same thing, and then the company was bought by Crytek and shut down, and then now we have Electronic Arts making this game that they're calling Battlefront 2, but isn't really Battlefront 2. I mean, oh my gosh, I've been talking for 13 minutes. Okay, well, that's kind of my rant and my point that I've been trying to make. I know it's probably gonna spark some controversy, but that's just how I feel. And you know, thank you for watching, and thank you for hearing me talk, because I'm just mad, just like a lot of other people are. And this topic has been, we're beating a dead horse at this point, but it's just a huge issue. But yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the points I'm trying to make, and I hope people listen, you know, just to improve this game so we can have a fun experience and actually get our money's worth. I mean, that's the whole point of this. And I'm trying to figure out how to conclude this video, but I'm just gonna say this. Thanks for watching.